Okay, so I'm doing air pollution as my part of the Period 7 Honors Environmental Science Unit project video. Okay, basic overview of air pollution in Pennsylvania. The two largest causes of air pollution in Pennsylvania are vehicles and coal-fired power plants, as they are very common. Particles and gases from these sources, things, get suspended in the air and are called aerosols. And air pollution is in fact the third leading cause of premature death in the state of Pennsylvania. So, how has air pollution affected PA residents, specifically people? So, air pollution causes an estimated of 800,000 missed workdays each year because it makes people sick. This makes them unable to work, and if people aren't working, then we can't run as smoothly because we don't have enough people working, and that's a bad thing. It causes respiratory distress and illness in millions of people around the state, and even though air pollution has been going down, we've seen a trend in that since 2003, we still have a lot of respiratory disease caused by air pollution. Children are also at a much higher risk compared to adults because they're not as developed, and they also spend much more time outside compared to adults on average, which leaves them much, much more exposed to these aerosols that are in the air that can cause these illnesses. So here's an air pollution graph. On the left there, you can see 2003, March of 2003, and the darker the coloring is, the more air pollution there is. And then if you go over and you look at 2020 on the right, there is far less air pollution. Especially in Pennsylvania. There's way less in Pennsylvania on that graph.
Water pollution. Water pollution occurs when rivers, ponds, seas, oceans, and other water bodies are contaminated with toxic chemical waste and other harmful pollutants. The chemicals get suspended in the water and either lie on the waterbed or the surface. This results in degradation of water quality. This can be caused by natural activities such as volcanoes, animal waste, algae blooms, storms, and flood residue, and other natural occurrences. Another source of water pollution is sewage and garbage being dumped into the water, which pollutes the water. Additionally, oil spills, fossil fuel combustions, pesticides, and chemical fertilizers also contribute to water pollution. Not only does this impact the aquatic ecosystem, but it affects our everyday lives such as cooking, cleaning, and even drinking. This is because polluted groundwater makes its way into our homes. Consumption of this polluted water can lead to potentially fatal diseases such as hepatitis or cholera, and the outbreaks of these diseases could be deadly to some poorer nations. It also kills many fish and aquatic life, which wash up on beaches. In Pennsylvania, water pollution is a real threat. We are second in the nation for violating the Clean Water Acts. Industrial facilities dump a tremendous amount of pollution into Pennsylvania's waterways, 633 times over 21 months. For example, the pollution permit was exceeded over 80 times, 7 of those times exceeding over 500% at Greater Ford State Correctional Institution in Montgomery County, which disposes its waste into the Perkiomen Creek. Another example is a tributary of the Susquehanna River, Coders Creek, exceeded its permit standards 20 times when the P.H. Glatfelter's paper facility in York County dumped waste in the water. These polluted waters can lead to millions of health problems for everyone in and out of Pennsylvania and the aquatic life and ecosystem. Now, these graphs show that water pollution affects low developed countries because of diseases associated with poor nations. The outbreak of these diseases can have devastating results, and these graphs prove that deaths by water pollution is a real problem. Overly populated countries such as India and China have a lot of water pollution, as shown by the first graph, and the second graph shows that the deaths are the result. Therefore, water pollution is a real issue that needs to be addressed because its impacts are severe and harms the health of humans and the ecosystem.
Other types of pollution. Light pollution is too much light brightening the night sky, and it can come from streetlights, traffic, buildings, and social events. For humans, it could cause less sleep and headaches, and for animals, it could cause issues in navigation, migration, finding food, and avoiding predators. The image in the center shows how different levels of light pollution affect star visibility. Noise pollution is loud noises that can cause harm to humans and animals. It can come from construction, traffic, humans, and social events. For humans, it could cause stress and loss of hearing, and for animals, it can cause issues in navigation, finding food, and avoiding predators. The graph in the middle shows noise pollution from different sources in 1997 and 2007. Radiation pollution is an unnatural amount of radiation in the environment. It can come from nuclear power plants, nuclear waste, and mining radioactive materials. For both humans and animals, it can cause cancer, cardiovascular diseases, and birth defects. The graph in the center shows how much nuclear waste there is and will be from 2005 to 2060. Thermal pollution is a rapid change in water temperature, and it can come from deforestation, nuclear power plants, dams, and factories. It can cause animals to migrate to the wrong places, die due to high/low temperatures, and it can also disrupt the food chain. The graph in the center shows global river temperature rise. Other types of pollution in PA. The center shows an image of PA's light pollution. And just like water pollution, the PH Glatfelter's paper facility produces much of the thermal pollution in PA. Fracking in Pennsylvania has caused high levels of radiation at these fracking sites and all over PA. Since Pennsylvania has one of the highest amounts of truckers and is mostly suburban, traffic is a major source of noise pollution for PA.
It's our job to help fight against PA's pollution problem. Boycott businesses that heavily pollute the environment, hold protests, or even encourage companies and people to be more environmentally conscious. There are also more direct ways to fight against these common types of pollution. For air pollution, you can use public transportation and carpool, or you can even plant some trees or donate to causes that plant trees. For light pollution, you can turn off streetlights when it's not dark, and turn off any indoor lighting when you're not using them. For water pollution, you can mulch or compost yard waste such as grass, or pick up litter. Here are some images of the community service group cleaning up their local creek. Here's a video of the creek. Here's our works cited. Thank you for watching our video.